The mark of man. The valley of Urdaibai is located on the coast of Vizcaya and has been declared by UNESCO as a biosphere reserve. It is a unique and privileged place inhabited not only by man, but also by a wide variety of animal and vegetable species. Man has lived here in perfect harmony with nature since prehistoric times. Gernika is located right in the middle of this natural paradise. Under the shade of its sacred oak, ever since medieval times, the lawyers of various towns in Vizcaya would meet to discuss political, economic and social issues. Even the kings of Castile came to Gernika to swear fidelity to the codes of laws of Vizcaya. With the loss of the Basque codes of law in the 19th century, Gernika became, even more than before, the symbol of the Basque liberties and of its ancestral democracy. Gernika was of great spiritual importance to all the Basque people. In 1937, Gernika was still a peaceful town of barely 5,000 inhabitants, a cozy atmosphere where people went about their daily lives. This apparent sense of peace was deceptive. Spain was at war. The army, under the command of Generals Franco and Mola, had revolted against the democratically elected government of the Republic. Soon, the war reached the Basque country, and the siege on Vizcaya was closing in.
Once the Battle of Guadalajara is over, Franco's general staff see no immediate need to take Madrid. The northern region becomes a prime objective, and General Mola designs the strategy, which is to take control of the border and then advance through Guipuzcoan territory and on to Bilbao. This region is considered to be of vital interest, not only because of strategic border control, but also because of the industrialization of the area. In fact, Durango is to be the first city where an aerial bombing raid is to be carried out. The first civilians begin to die.
José Antonio Aguirre took the oath of office as first president of the autonomous Basque country within the Spanish Republic under the sacred oak of Gernika. The front was closing in, and in the attack on Gernika, strategic objectives were confused, leading to an attack against the symbol of the Basque people and the rehearsal of aerial warfare on the part of the German Air Force.
On the 26th of April, the first bombing by the Condor Legion takes place. This attack is, in effect, a rehearsal of what is to become a systematic series of bombings during World War II. The tactic used at the bombing of Gernika is a combined tactic involving a series of high explosive bombs, incendiary bombs, and even worse, the indiscriminate machine gunning of civilians. In short, a cold-blooded war, which remains in the memory of its survivors, not only as images of destruction, but especially as images of fire.
On the instigation of the Peace Research Center, Gernika Gogoratuz, Maria Jesus Cava Mesa and a team of historians and sociologists have been gathering testimonies from some 85 surviving witnesses to the destruction of Gernika. Hearing them speak brings back what would seem to have been lost forever. The collective memory of the bombing of Gernika.
Maybe one of the lessons that we have learned from our work here is firstly that a feeling of harmony prevails, which is a highly positive legacy for the present Basque population.
While we were in church, the Basque soldier choir singing, the priest said to us, "You had better go home. The sirens are not so good. Go home." And so we did. Later at home, during lunch, the sirens went off again, and we all stumbled out of the house. We all ran in different directions. We never expected not to see our homes ever again.
Victoriano Uruburu still works on his farm on the outskirts of Gernika, where he was born 78 years ago, and where he was when the bombing began, while his mother was at the market selling their produce.
At 3 o'clock, the siren. Ding dong, ding dong. I wasn't worried. The planes were far away. We weren't nervous. They were taking off from Mendizorroza, from Vitoria. But after a while, the siren was getting louder. They're coming this way. The plane turned around. About there. By Santa Maria. And bang! What was that? A terrible explosion. They tried to hit the bridge, but they missed. There was a huge hole. My father said, "Joaquin, go and get your mother." 2 minutes later, I was in Gernika. People were running all over the place. There was complete confusion. People were shouting, "To the shelter, to the shelter." We ran away from there. "Follow me, mother."
When the 50th anniversary of the bombing came round, many Guernicenses, most of them in fact, felt that the time had now come to turn the page on hatred and resentment, of victimization. Few people wanted to live remembering only what had happened in the past, although it's true to say that these feelings had become deeply entrenched, as under the dictatorship, the subject of bombing was not allowed to be discussed. Those who dared suggest that Germans or Franco had been responsible ran the risk in the early years of even being sent to prison. So it was felt that time enough had passed, and moreover the younger generation was making quite an impression. They yearned for more solidarity in society, more fraternity, a vision of the future. They didn't want to live only on the memories of the past, so it was decided to turn Gernika into a city of peace and culture. On the initiative of the Basque Parliament, a peace research centre was set up, which was to be called Gernika Gogoratuz, and which has carried out its work ever since. It plays the role of arbiter in the solution to conflicts, as well as performing an important didactic function in schools by inculcating in the students a culture of peace.
Here behind me is the old tree of Gernika, where 10 years ago stood Petra Kelly. She made a very important statement. "I'm a German. We bombed you and caused death and destruction. and I'm deeply ashamed of it. Later, as a German member of parliament, she proposed in that parliament that there be a gesture of reconciliation towards Gernika and a contribution to make amends for the wrong done. The gesture of reconciliation took 10 years to come about and was made by the German president, who a year ago wrote a personal letter to each and every one of the survivors.
On the 27th of April 1997, 60 years and 1 day after the bombing of Gernika, the first meeting of surviving witnesses took place, organized by Gernika Gogoratuz. For this occasion, and at the request of this Peace Research Center, the President of the Federal Republic of Germany, Roman Herzog, had sent a personal letter to each survivor that was read out publicly by the German ambassador, Henning Wegener. Before 400 people, the President, via his ambassador, acknowledged the German responsibility for the bombardment and asked them for their forgiveness.
Debimos sentirnos apenados por el sufrimiento que cayó sobre Gernika. Yo quiero asumir ese pasado y reconocer expresamente la culpa de los aviones alemanes involucrados. Les dirijo a ustedes, como sobrevivientes del ataque y testigos del horror vivido, mi mensaje conmemorativo y conmovido de condolencia y duelo. Evoco el recuerdo de aquellas personas a las que aquel día en Gernika les fue quebrada la felicidad de la vida, destrozada su familia, destruido su hogar, robada su vecindad. Comparto con ustedes el luto por los muertos y heridos. Les ofrezco a ustedes, que todavía llevan en las entrañas las heridas del pasado, mi mano abierta en ruego por la reconciliación.
Ongi etorriak.